Hi everyone, it's Bryony. Welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be asking you guys a question really on here and also sharing my opinion, and I'm really keen to get your guys' opinion on this topic too. But before I go into the video, I really want to say this video is in no way intended to be offensive to anyone or to exclude anyone from it. I really am trying not to do that, but I'm asking this as a genuine question, and I do want your guys' opinions, but beware with this sort of topic, there's quite often a lot of negativity around it as well, so brave yourselves before you read the comments, but hopefully there'll be a lot of positivity too. So going right into it, the question that I have been asking myself a lot recently, or rather that I got asked recently, and that I thought that's actually a really difficult question and I'm not entirely sure how to answer that. It was, how do you define being a woman? So after thinking about this through and through, I've come to the conclusion that I think it just must be a personal thing, that how you define yourself to be a woman. Until very recently, I think almost everybody would have said that having a period, or at least having the ability to have a period, is what makes a lot of people a woman. But obviously there are people now that it's become more aware that there are people who identify as being women who can't have periods, or who don't have periods, whether that be for health reasons, because they're transgender, or because of maybe an accident that happened when they're younger. You know, there's many reasons aside from the transgender issue, which I think is the one that's come into the light most recently. People with Turner syndrome, for example, don't start their periods, but they can have them artificially started by a doctor. If you have an accident, I had a friend who had a horse riding accident, so she doesn't menstruate, for example. Those sorts of things can also mean that women don't have periods, but I guess they were also born with uteruses. So when I say born with the ability to have periods, I mean that they were born with all the bits that are required for that. But as I said before, not everyone has that now. So how do we define being women? If you can't define it as a bodily function or as your body being a certain way, how would you define it? Because we're all so different. We're all wonderfully diverse. You know, we don't all like the same styles of clothes. Some women like to wear very feminine clothes. Some women like to wear very masculine clothes. Some women have long hair. Some women have short hair or no hair. Piercings, although that doesn't really apply to one gender anymore. Even like colours, we don't all like the same colours. Girls seem to like pink a lot, and I personally hate pink, but I do love purple, so, you know. But, you know, like there's not one colour that you can like that makes you, there's just so many different things. So it really is, how do you know that you're a woman? If your body, the way that your body is, doesn't define you as a woman anymore, if what you like to wear, what you like to enjoy as a hobby, or like what colours you like, if none of that defines you as being a woman, then what does? How do you personally define being a woman? And I think this also came up in the sense with relation to this channel with periods, because for me personally, I do link my period very strongly to being a woman, and I'll explain why. Basically, if you were to ask a guy, I think someone who is biologically male as well, what a period is, they probably would describe it as the very, very basics of, oh, it's when a girl gets, bleeds from her vagina, a few days a month. But that's really skimming the surface. That's not going into any detail about all the other things that can be involved with the period. And periods can be very difficult sometimes. I myself have experienced very, very painful periods, practically crippling pain when I've got my period. Sometimes I've ended up in hospital on the strongest doses of medication that they can give without having to admit you, and that's not fully numb the pain. I've had to miss out on events that I've really wanted to, or things I've really wanted to do because I've got my period unexpectedly and it's been too painful. So I've had a lot of problems, struggling with accepting my period sometimes, even though my whole channel is about periods, and I am very happy to talk about them. And in some ways I love my period because it gives me the ability to have children. It can be really difficult. So for me, I do associate my period with being a woman, because those two together, I like the idea of my body being created in order of this process is something that allows me to carry life into the world. So for me, telling myself that, I'm a woman, having a period is normal, it's natural, what allows me to have children in the future, that's a big motivating point that kind of helps me to get through my cycle. But not every woman, wants to have children. And then how would you motivate yourself to get through it? And a lot of women actually struggle with dealing with their periods, especially if they've got a lot of problems with their cycles because of the fact that they don't actually want to have kids and they feel like they're going through this for no reason. So that's like a really important thing to take into account as well. So I personally think that, you know, whilst not everyone who is a woman actually experiences periods, I don't think that means we have to completely sever the two from each other, from it being considered a feminine thing, because, you know, because the vast majority of us that do menstruate do consider ourselves women, and that most women do have periods at some point in their life. I don't think that's a reason, you know, because a small section don't experience that, for us to completely sever the two. So I'm really curious to know what you guys think makes you strong women and how you define your femininity. And like I said, this video is not intended to be exclusionary at all. It's just to get my opinions across and to hear your guys' opinions. Maybe some of you are people who haven't ever experienced menstruation, and you can give your own insights as to how you identify yourselves as women and feel like powerful and feminine and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I'm really curious to know, so please do let me know in the comments. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe and I will talk to you later. Bye.